येनाक्षरसमाम्नायम् अधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्च ज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। अज्ञानान्दस्य लोकस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्. Okay, in the last class we started the discussion about Angam and completed it. In today's class we shall take the discussion about Padam. So we completed Yasmat Pratyaya Vidistadadi Pratyaya Angam in the last class. In today's class we shall take the Padasangna. The Padasangna is given by 4 sutras. Suptingantam Padam, Natye, Siticha, Swadishva Sarvanamastani. Swadishva Sarvanamastani. And Bhasangna is given by 2 sutras. Yachibham, Tasau Matvarte. In today's class, we shall take this sutra, Suptingantam Padam. In tomorrow's class, we shall take Swadhisva Asarvanamastane, and on Friday's class, we will discuss Nakya and Siticha, and we shall take Basangna in the next week. Padam. We came across many sutras where the word Pada was encountered, like Enga Padantadati, Pusya Padantat, like that. At that time, I briefly mentioned what Pada is. So now we are going to study the Sangna in detail. The sutra, the very first sutra is Suptingantam Padam 1414. This 14th sutra, 4th Pada, first chapter. Suptingantam Padam. Sup antam or ting antam padam. If a word ends with sup pratyaya or ting pratyaya, then it is called as pada. So we know that there are 21 sup pratyayas given by the sutra. Svajasam, Aushastabhyam Bisnebhyam Besnasibyam Besnasosam Nivosup. This is 4.1.2. The section of the 4th chapter and the 5th chapter, the 2 chapters deal with the pratyayas which are attached to pratipadikas. The 4.1.1, the first sutra of 4th chapter is Nya Pratipadika. It is an Adhikara Sutra. It spans over 2 chapters of Ashtadhyayi, the 4th and 5th. So all the pratyayas which are told, which are given by the sutras of 4th chapter and 5th chapter are attached to Ni Pratyayanta words, Ap Pratyayanta words and Pratipadikas. So the next sutra, immediate sutra is this one, 4.1.2. Suavajasam. So the supratyas are given by this sutra and only one sutra. Because there are many sutras, thousands of sutras are there by which Tadita Pratyas are given. There are more than about 70 sutras by which 3 Pratyas are given, but only one sutra for Supratyayas. This is the only one sutra, no other sutras. The next sutra, 4.1.3 is Triyam, which starts the discussion about the pratyayas which give the sutras which give three pratyayas. So if any word ends with any of these pratyayas, then they are called as pada. By this sutra, suptingantam padam. The word sup is a pratyara. This su from this su pratama ekavachana pratyaya and this pakara from the last pratyaya. So by adirantena saheta, it represents all the pratyas in between that it letter and the part so, including so and excluding the last. So consider Rama plus how. So Gna Pratipadika Adhikara. So this how is attached to a Pratipadika Rama. So this how is a Supratyaya because it is in that list of Supratyayas. So if we combine these two by Ruddirechi, we will get Ramau, A plus Au. Now this word Ramau ends with the Pratyaya How, which is a Supratyaya. So we can call it as Subantam. Subantam. So it is a Subantam by this sutra. Suptingantam Padam. Subantam Padam. A Subanta is called as Pada. So this Ramau here is a Pada. Similarly, Sita plus Su. Su is the Supu Pratyaya, the Saptami Bahuvachana. Sita Su. The word Sita Su, this word ends with Supu Pratyaya, Saptami Bahuvachana. So it is a Subantam. So Subantam Padam. Similarly, Nadi Bhyam. Nadi Bhyam. Bhyam is a Supratyaya. So Nadi Bhyam is a Subantam. So Padam. Next, Tingantam Padam. If your word ends with Ting Pratyaya, then also it is a Pada. So these are the 18 Ting Pratyayas given by the sutra. This is the sutra. Tiptas di siptastas amipvasmastatam jha tasatam dhvam idvahi mahim. This is 3.4.78. This is in third chapter, fourth pada, 78th sutra. So let us take the example of pat plus tip in lat lakara. This tip is a ting pratyaya as we can see in that list. So the final word after we attach the tip to pat, we get pathati. I don't go into the derivation of the pathati. So pathati is the form. So this pathati ends with a ting pratyaya tip. So it is a pada. Similarly, if we add tas pratyaya in lit lakara, we get the form as pethatahu, which is a pada because it is a tingantam. Similarly, if we add mip, a ting pratyaya in lit lakara, then we will get patitasmi. If we add jhi pratyaya to the same dhatu in lit lakara, we get patishyanti. If we add sip pratyaya in lot lakara, we get patha. If we add tha pratyaya in lang lakara, we get pathata. If we add mas in vidirling lakara, we get pathema. If we add jha pratyaya in ashirling lakara, we get pakshiran. If we add dvam pratyaya in lung lakara, we get apagdvam. If we add it pratyaya in alrung lakara, we will get apakshe. All these final forms, which are in green color, they are ending with ting pratyayas, different ting pratyayas. So by this sutra, suptingantam padam, they are pada. This is about this sutra. So we shall go in detail into details of the each word in this sutra. This sutra is Supting Antam Padam. We have this word Antam. What is the need of this word Antam in the sutra? Why not only Supting Padam? Supting Padam. Why not Supting Padam? Why we have Antam in this sutra? So we shall go into the details of that. So before taking the exact sutra, we shall study this sutra. Then we will come to Suktingantam Padam again. We have this sutra, Yena Vidis Tadantasya 1172. After Adirantena Saheta, Yena Vidis Tadantasya. Yena Vidihi Tadantasya. Yena Vidihi Tadantasya. It means the meaning of this sutra is, if a vidhi is told to a word, that vidhi happens for that letter as well as that word, any word which ends with that letter. If any vidhi is told for a letter, that vidhi will happen for that letter as well as any word which end with that letter. Is the meaning of this sutra, Yena vidis tadantasya. Let us take some examples. We have this sutra, Ato Dirgho Yanyi. We discussed this yesterday. By this sutra, if Rasvakara is followed by any pratyaya which starts with a letter of any pratyahara, then there will be Dirghadesha for that Rasvakara. So, A plus Bhyam, Abhyam. So, this sutra tells whenever Rasvakara is followed by any this pratyaya, yanyadi pratyaya, then there will be dirgha adesha for this akara, rasvakara. It does not tell, this sutra does not tell whenever there is a word which ends with rasvakara. It doesn't tell like that. It is just whenever rasvakara is followed by the pratyaya. So the question then is whether in the case of Rama plus Byam, will this sutra Ato Dirgho Yayi applicable? This word Rama ends with Rasvakara and it's followed by the appropriate Pratyaya Bhyam. Whether the Makarottara Akara undergoes Dirghadesha is the question. We see the form as Rama Bhyam where Dirghadesha is done because of this sutra, Yena Vidis Tadantasya. This is Paribhasha Sutra. By using this Paribhasha Sutra, we do Dirghadesha for that Akara as well as the words which end with Rasvakara. So, Yena Vidihi Tadantasya. Similarly, Divavut. By this Sutra, Divavut, the word Div will get Ukaradesha. By Alontyasya, the last letter of the word Div, that is Vakara, gets Ukaradesha. So Div plus Bis, that Vakarasya Ukaradesha. And by Koyanachi, D plus U becomes Dyu. It should be Dyubi, Dyubihi. I have typed it wrongly here, Dyubihi. It should be Dyu, Dyubihi. The next question is whether there will be same Ukaradesha for this Div in the word Sudiv. This is Sudiv plus Bis. Whether this Vakara will get Ukaradesha is the question. Yes, by this sutra, Yena Vidis Tadantasya, the Vidhi told for Div is applicable to those words which end with Div. So this Sudiv ends with Div. So this sutra Divavut is applicable for this word also. So here also Vakarasya Ukaradesha, then Sudyubihi. Next one more sutra, Rasvasya Piti Krutituk. Whenever Rasva, a letter, is followed by a Pit Krut Pratyaya, then there will be Tugagama. We studied this sutra also. Here Kep is a Krut Pratyaya and it is a Pit Pratyaya. We can see this Pakaraya sit here. So by rasvasya piti and they in that in that pratyaya kakara and pakara are yukta and ya is the actual pratyaya. So here by this sutra rasvasya piti krutituk we will get that takara tugagama. So the form is itya. The question is whether the tugagama happen in the case of stu plus ya, because this sutra is told for rasva letter, but we are having the word this dhatu stu, not just rasva letter. We can say we have two hal letters followed by rasva letter, but there is a rasva letter at the end, and it's followed by epith pratyaya. By using this paribhasha yena visistadantasya, the rasva letter will get tugagama, as well as those words which end with rasva letter, they also get tugagama. So here also there will be tugagama stutya. Now coming to the sutra suptingantam padam. If we just tell, if we just have this sutra supting padam by ena vidistadantasya, sup should become sup, the word sup represents sup pratyaya, like so just all those pratyayas should be called as pada, as well as the words which end with these pratyayas, they can also be called as pada. So au, as well as ramau, tha, as well as pathatha. So the supratyaya as well as the word which ends with the supratyaya. Similarly, ting pratyaya, the word which ends with ting pratyaya, all of this can be called as pada. But if we apply this paribhasha sutra yena vidis tadantasya, still we are having this word antam in this sutra. So the presence of antam in this sutra blocks the application of yena vidis tadantasya in this case. How? It remains of the paribhasha sangna vidau pratyay grahane tadanta grahanam nasti. So the presence of antam in this sutra indicates sangna vidau. Whenever we are defining a sangna pratyaya grahane, if we define that sangna by using some pratyayas, then tadanta grahanam nasti, then tadanta grahanam tadadi vidhi, tadanta vidhi nasti will not be there, is not applicable. Tadanta grahanam means this sutra yena vidis tadantasya nasti, that will not be applicable. So if a sangna here pada is the sangna is defined using the pratyayas. This pada is defined by using the pratyayas sup and ting. So whenever you define a pratyaya, whenever you define a sangna by using pratyayas like sup ting, then tadanta grahanam will not be there. Then if you just tell the sutraya sup ting padam, then only sup and ting, those words will be called as padam, not subantam and tingantam. So we have to use antam. So the word antam is used to indicate that if we just use sup or if we just tell ting, then the word which end with sup or the word which end with ting, they cannot be called as padam, is the meaning which is being told by the usage of the word antam in this sutra. For that, we shall take some more examples so it will be clear. This is the sutra Tarap Tamapau Ghaha 1122. It is in first pada of the first chapter, 22nd sutra, Tarap Tamapau Gaha. By this sutra, Tarap Tamapau Gaha, Tarap Pratyaya and Tamap Pratyaya, these two pratyayas are called as Gha. Gha is a Sangna for these two pratyayas. These two are Tadita pratyayas, Tarap and Tamap. These two are Tadita pratyayas. These two are called as Gha by this sutra. It is a Sangna sutra. Here we shall take this example. Brahmani plus Tarap plus Tap. Brahmani Tamap plus Tap. Tarap is used in comparative degree sense, and Tamap is used in superlative degree sense in English. We use in that sense. Brahmani plus Tarap. So if Brahmani means a woman, Brahmin. Tarap is a better, something like more beautiful, more good, more Brahmini, like that. Tamap is the most in that sense. Brahmani plus Tarap. So Brahmani is feminine. So the final form we get by adding Brahmani plus Tara will be a masculine. So we have to get the female version, feminine version. So we have to add Tap pratyaya. Yes, three pratyaya on that. So we have added Tap. Similarly, if we add Tamap also, we have to add Tap to get feminine word. So we have this sutra at this stage. Garupa kalpa chelat dhruvagotra matahateshu gnyo anekacho rasvaha. We have Gha in this sutra. This Gha represents Tarap and Tamap. By this sutra, we have so many other words also, Rupa, Kalpa, Chela. We are not interested in those. Nyo anekacho rasvaha. So if the word ends with ni pratyaya, ni represents ni three pratyaya. If the word ends with any one of those pratyayas, here Brahmani ends with a ni pratyaya. Anekacho, it should be having more than one H letter. Brahmani here having three H letters. That A is there, and Makarottara A, Nakarottara E. It is having three letters, so it is Anekach. So if a word is ending with ni pratyaya and it is Anekach, it is having more than one H letter, and if it is followed by Gha pratyaya, it is in Saptami, Teshu, Mata Hateshu. So the whole word is in Saptami. So that means it is followed by Gha pratyaya. Gha represents Tarap and Tamappo. Then there will be Rasvaha. Nyo Anekacho Rasvaha. This is in Shashti. So this Dirgha Adesha, this Gni will undergo Rasva Adesha is the meaning of this sutra. So we will get Brahmani Tarap. This Ni, the Dirgai will become Rasvai by this sutra, Garupakalpa Chela. Then in Tarap, that Pakara is it. In Tap, Takara and Pakara are it. So we will get Tara and A. And similarly here also. So the final forms are Brahmani Tara, Brahmani Tama. These are the final forms. By this sutra, Tarap Tamapau Gaha, we understood Tarap and Tamap, they are called as Gha. So if we apply Tadanta Vidhi here, Yena Vidhi Sadantasya, then Brahmani Tara, the word Brahmani Tara ends with Tarap Pratyaya. So by Yena Vidhi Sadantasya, Tarap is a Gha. Similarly, Brahmani Tara is also Gha. If we apply Yena Vidhi Sadantasya, then consider this case, Gauri Brahmani Tara. Here, this Gauri is ending with Ni Pratyaya and it is Anekach. It is having more than one H letters and it is followed by Brahmani Tara word. If we assume that Brahmani Tara is also Ga by the application of tadanta vidhi. Yena vidhi tadantasya. Tarap is also ga, and the word which ends with tarap is also ga. Then this e should get rasvadesha, but that is not correct. Sangna vidau pratyay grahane tadanta grahanam nasti. So whenever we define a sangna using pratyayas, then there will be no tadanta grahanam. It means whenever define ga using, if that sangna ga is defined using the pratyayas, then only those pratyayas are called as ga, not that pratyayanta words. So only the pratyaya tarap and tamap, they are called as ga, not tarap pratyayanta, tamap pratyayanta words. So here brahmani tara and brahmani tama, they are not called as ga. So we should not apply, we cannot apply garupa kalpa here. Similarly, taktavatu ishtha 1126. By this sutra, ta pratyaya and tavatu pratyaya, these two pratyayas are called as nishtha. Nishtha is a common name for ta and tavatu. So we shall take the case of hid plus ta pratyaya and tavatu pratyaya for the same dhatu. And in both that kakara and is it, and that ukara at the end of tavatu is also it. So ta and tavat are the actual pratyayas here. At this stage we have this sutra. Radabhyam nishtato na purvasya chadaha. Radabhyam. If dhatu ends with refa or da. Radabhyam. This is in Panchami, Dvivachana. Refa or dakara is followed by nishtato, nishta takara. The takara of the nishta. Nishta means ta or tavatu. Here I have taken both ta and tavatu. Nishtato, this is in Shashti. That is takara of the nishta pratyaya. Naha. Naha is in pratama. That means whenever that takara of a nishta pratyaya is preceded by dakara ref of the dhatu, then that takara will get nakaradesha. Purvasya chadaha. The takara which is present before that takara will also get nakaradesha. That refa will not get dakaradesha, nakaradesha. Only that dakara will get nakaradesha is the meaning of this sutra. So by this sutra, the takara of the nishta pratyaya is preceded by dakara. So the previous dakara as well as nishta takara both are converted into nakara in both the cases. So we get binna, bhinnavat. Similarly, through dhatu and it's followed by nishta pratyayas. Through will become sthir. Don't worry about that prakriya. And this tir becomes tir. That ikara will become dirgha, and even you don't need to worry about that. We will study those sutras later. Here, nishta takara is preceded by refa. Tir is the dhatu here. This is refa is followed by nishta takara. Here also by this sutra radabhyam nishtato na purvasya chadaha. If the nishta takara is preceded by refa or dakara, there will be a nakara desha. So it becomes na, and refat parasya nakarasya nakara desha bhavati. There will be natva. So we will get tirna or tirnavat as the forms. Now if we consider the cases of tad tirnam or tad tirnavat, these are the two cases. We shall take these. Here there is dakara, and it is followed by takara. Then if we consider this word tirnam and tirnavat as nishta, then this sutra is applicable. Radabhyam nishtato na purvasya chadaha. then this nakara as well, this takara as well as this dakara, both should become nakara. But we have sangna vidau pratyagrahane tadantagrahanam nasti, by which if the sangna is defined by using the pratyas, then there will be no tadanta vidhi. So here nishta is defined by using the pratyas ta and tavatu. So tadanta vidhi. That means ta pratyayanta words and tavatu pratyayanta words, they are not called as nishta. Only ta pratyaya and tavatu pratyaya, they are called as nishta. Similarly, sup tingantam padam. If you don't use antam in this sutra, then only sup pratyaya or ting pratyaya, they will be called as padam. But we want sup pratyayanta words and ting pratyayanta words as padas. So we have antam in this sutra. That is the reason why we are having the word antam in this sutra. One more example. Sanadhyanta datavaha. We studied this sutra. Sanadi antaha datavaha. Here also we have the word antaha, because here the sangna is dhatu. It is defined by the word sanadi. If you just tell sanadayaha datavaha, then the pratyas, this 12 sanadi pratyas, san, kech, keng, kech, vip, ning, nich, yang, aya, yak, yang, kamyach. These are the 12 sanadi pratyayas. If you don't use the word anta in this sutra, then it means these pratyayas are called as dhatu. But it is not so. The words which end with these pratyayas are to be called as dhatu. So we are having the word antaha in this sutra. So by this, the words which end with these pratyayas like pipatisha with sun, putriya with kech, all these which are in blue color, they are called as dhatu, not the pratyayas alone. So that's about the word antam in the sutra. And we are having two words, sup and ting, and we are having only one word, antam. So whether that antam is applicable, is attached to both sup and ting is the question. So for that we have this paribhasha. Dvandvante shruyamanam padam pratyekam abhisambadyate. It means dvandvante shruyamanam padam. If a word is present after a dvandva word, for example here sup and ting, sup is a pada, ting is a pada. If you make dvandva samasa by using those two words, sup ting is a pada. It is made out of dvandva samasa. So the word which is used after a dvandva samasika word, that is antam, pratyekam abhisambadyate. It is applicable, it is applied with the each word in that samasa, dvandva samasa. That is, this antam is attached to sup also, it is attached to ting also. So the meaning of the sutra becomes sup antam padam as well as ting antam padam. This the word antam is attached to both the words sup as well as ting. So sup antam subantam, ting antam. Oh, I have written this word wrongly, gajaka. Sup ting antam. So the complete meaning of the sutra, subantam as well as tingantam is equal to padam. Thus we completed the sutra Suptingantam Padam. We shall take Swadishva Sarvanamasthane tomorrow, because that requires more time. I can't complete that in today's class.